three biggest administration failures so far. We are less than 90 days. You look at the Trump administration and you have a lot of people who are convinced they're doing well, but the approval rating is so bad. The disapproval rating is at 1%, and that is as of March 23rd, 2025. Salutations, those suffering from the mortal coil. My name is Ansley, and this is Tess. We usually have a third person here, but as in the previous weeks, he has passed on the responsibility of today to us because he's not feeling well. Thanks for not coming to the office, though, because my body hops on a sickness like a little guy on a train.
I love getting sick.
My shirt says, maybe worrying about it will help. And
Possibly.
That's exactly how I've been feeling recently.
Mine says hard pass, and that's also how I feel.
We're really reflective today, but I wanted to play a new game on the Boardwalk Show called What's Going On Up There? Where we just talk about 3 things that are fails of the Trump administration and ask, hey, what's going on up there? First things first, Greenland.
We need Greenland, and the world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark. Denmark has to have us have Greenland.
Visited by our vice president in what most Greenlanders considered rather hostile. Some would say aggressive. And I think whoever's working PR for the White House is working overtime trying to make it seem better than it is. But Usha Vance accompanied J.D. Vance all the way to Greenland. And after a week of canvassing, administration officials went door to door to door to as many Greenland people as they can, being like, hey, Usha Vance is coming to town. Like, come say hi to her. Like, she's the first vice lady or whatever they call them. And every single person said no. And at first, when I was like, oh, they just didn't want to see her, I was like, well, they just didn't have time. Like, maybe some Greenlanders weren't curious. No, it was a week of canvassing. A week of looking for a single person.
Why would you think that anyone in Greenland would want to come see you?
The Trump administration, first and foremost, can't really make up their mind with how they're feeling about something. One day it's a permanent information leak. The next day it was, oh, I was hacked. Like, there's really no consistency with the Trump administration, at least in my perspective. And so they're saying, like, we're going to take over Greenland. That was a joke. Everybody calm down.
Well, I feel like they love doing this. Like, they say something crazy, do something crazy. It gets backlash. It doesn't work out. You know, whatever happens. And then they're like, oh my God, you guys like can't take a joke.
Oh my God, no,
oh
literally.
My God, we didn't really mean it.
We didn't mean it like that.
That's their goal, is to make people confused and make people...
Make us feel crazy.
Yeah, make us feel crazy. This
it's
is
working.
Abuser 101.
Trump is the meanest mean girl you've ever known in high school. He is the worst gaslighting, cheating ex-boyfriend you've ever known. And J.D. Vance is this weird little side character who's like, why would I stop being friends with him? He was there for me at a really hard time.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, I saw videos of J.D. Vance like condemning Trump years and years and years before.
Oh, most of them have.
And so one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history. It's that Trump is a really bad candidate and, frankly, I think a really bad person.
Yeah, what? So what? Money? Is that why?
I think that there's that. I think he has dirt on people. I love the Lindsey Graham quote where it was when Trump was first running, the very first time. And Lindsey Graham said, if Trump wins, it'll be the downfall of the Republican Party and it will be our fault. And what is he doing now?
The downfall of the Republican Party.
He's supporting him. He's his bestie, and it's because he has dirt on him. But we all know what you're up to, Lindsey.
So anyway, embarrassing for the Vances to be not greeted at all. Usually I would feel like really sad being like, oh, nobody wanted to say hi to her. But I'm like, yeah. Nobody wanted to say hi to her.
It's weird. I wouldn't expect while Biden was president for like Doug to be going around Greenland and people being like,
fair.
Yeah, let me go
That's
meet
Doug.
Like, people in Greenland are living their lives. They have their own things to think about. They have their own government to have opinions on. They don't give a about the second lady or gentleman.
Yeah, maybe they thought they were pulling some like Princess Kate when she goes to like other nations and they're like, oh my God, it's the royal family. It's like you by extension are quite literally just there. What else is going on? Yeah, so you look at the Trump administration and you have a lot of people who are convinced they're doing well, but the approval rating is so bad. The disapproval rating is at a 53%, and that is as of March 23rd, 2025. The Labor Department reports the largest consumer price increase in, I think, 18 months, and consumer confidence is the lowest it's been in, drum roll please, 12 years. I wasn't even going to make you guys wait. Just letting you know, it's the lowest it's been in 12 years. And it's really fascinating to me because that was one of, like, this guy's biggest things. That's what everyone voted for. Like, when you're looking at the working class Americans, when you're looking at farmers, when you're looking at rednecks, when you're looking at Republicans, they were all looking at Trump because they were like, he's going to make America great financially again. And we are already in an active recession, like heading. I'm 26 now. I was 8 for the first recession, and I remember that being like scary.
Yeah,
now I actually
time.
have a stake in the game, and I'm like, eggs, genuinely, if you walk into your local Ralph's, eggs are $10. I'm not kidding. I have not been able to find anything lower than $5 at like a Trader Joe's, which they refuse inflation. So thank you, TJ's. But other than that, like, this is the biggest fail because I think he said day one of the presidency, prices are going down. Eggs are going down. Cost of living is going down. La, da, 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 da. And then we're, I think, less than 3 months into his, well, yeah, just about. And we are in an open free fall of our market. It's scary. The first thing I remember hearing about Kamala Harris was, well, she's making all these promises, but she's not going to deliver. And I'm like, okay, so are we just saying that because she's a woman, or are we saying that for all political candidates? Because they all have these huge promises on how they're going to make America better and how they're going to make, like, American people first. But, like, Trump's regime, and I will call it a regime, it genuinely is the most blatant disregard of actual American wants, needs, desires. We are an oligarchy. There is an open coup happening in the government right now, and there is nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Great.
We're going to have another upcoming episode, or maybe previous episode, about resisting fascism. Check that out.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that. Some great tips on what to do with riot shields, ? They aren't your enemy. They can be your friends, actually. I wanted to go over another failure, the final failure, just to, like, put a little cherry on top. 3 is better than 5 for my mental health. The unemployment rates. Yeah. So I thought that I was hearing Trump say he was going to give a lot of people jobs. Was I crazy about that? And then I think 2 months into his presidency, we have tens of thousands of Americans being cut from positions that are crucial, such as USAID, IRS, Education Department, Defense Department, health agencies, National Park Service, and Veteran Affairs. Now, the thing I will say that has been interesting is obviously I think the federal funding cuts were for one reason alone, and that was to give money to the richest of the rich. Mm-hmm. The adverse effect that I'm starting to see is because now there's all these overqualified federal workers who have nowhere to work, and so they're going back to their home states, and their home states are like, yes. And so now there's all these overqualified people and, like, local state governments, and that is the only thing that I could see being like, okay, that might have a positive effect for individual states. But failure,
a big failure,
a huge failure.
Up.
And also just like the national parks of it all, like you're cutting park rangers, which, speaking of, I was not accosted, but stopped outside of a Trader Joe's by someone with a clipboard, and I was going to fake a phone call, but I was brave, and I talked to them. And I learned about this thing called the Sierra Club, and it is something I want to put on our viewers' radar, because not only were they integral in suing, they are also integral in getting a lot of park rangers back their jobs, like being able to be like, you have this employment again. So I signed up for $15 a month. I can go down to $5 afterwards, but by this, I am actively going against the Trump administration, actively saying, you, Elon Musk, you stupid lizard skin. I don't even know what other insults to throw at you, because what would work? But anyway, that's my way of standing up and fighting the man and helping grassroots organizations and protecting our national parks. But it's crazy that that's now my job and not the administration's job, because you'd think they'd care. So join up for the Sierra Club.
Yeah.
Say I sent you. It will do nothing, but it'll make me feel better. The 3 biggest administration failures so far. We are less than 90 days. So we're going to be moving on to some of the comments we got on some of our videos. And this comment comes on a video of Day in the Life in America in 2026 Part 4, which if you haven't seen any of those, we essentially just throw a dart at a board of unlikely things that can happen that are starting to seem a little more likely. And we do what a day in the life would be like if, you had to have a citizen card to get out, or you had to cover all your tattoos because they're gang affiliation and you could be deported into a maximum security prison. You guys get it. You get it. Mm-hmm. So on this one in particular, Gabe is doing the video, and he is he's Mexican American? Mm-hmm. And we're talking all about how no hola, only hello. Things like that. And Frito Carlo commented, maybe you should leave then. Real patriots love their great leader and obey him without any second thought or fear. I want to talk on the belief that if we don't like what's happening, we should leave. I'm going to stay right the here.
That's how I know that people talk about like moving, and there may be a point that everybody needs to have where you are like, if this is what it is, like I need to get out. But like I definitely feel I don't want to leave.
I want to stand right in your way. I want to make it impossible for you to do these things.
Yeah. Like I care about this country. I don't want this happening to other people. And also I like living here. I don't want to move to another place.
It's crazy that like a more rational response than to just taking care of all American citizens is for us to quite literally immigrate, considering that's the biggest issue we have, right? Like we hate it so much when people do it to us, but just so long as we can keep our bubble.
Yeah. The telling people to leave, and especially people love to do it to people who frequently are like first gen Americans, were literally born here. So like, where are they supposed to go back to?
Well, they clearly have no issue with that because they think even like American citizens who may not be American citizens but have been here since they were 2, 3.
Yeah.
They genuinely think they have more of a connection to a home country than to a place they've been raised their entire lives.
Yeah.
Like it just lacks critical thinking, and also like with a name like Frito Carlo, like I'm sorry.
What are you doing,
well,
Frito?
Are you a bot? Or what's going on? And just to wrap it all up with a place I like to put a lot of my personal complaints, we have a review on our grievance journal from a lad named Rick. And Rick says, these prompts are perfect. The foreword makes me feel seen, and the quotations are sublime, and the paper quality is excellent. And I can agree that I think the quotes are excellent. I'm a big fan of paper quality that doesn't make me go, ooh. And now this is my favorite part of the podcast, where I get to maintain emotional homeostasis and we get to ask each other questions.
What was a seemingly harmless white lie you told that backfired from our venting deck? I feel like when I was like a kid, I would just like make things up constantly, and I like thought of it as playing pretend, but then I was told later on that I was lying.
Oh, I guess kind of in that vein. When I was really young, I thought I was going over to my friends. Must have been in 2nd grade, and my mom gave us walkie-talkies so we could like radio back and let her know. And I remember I was standing outside Jenny Jensen's house waiting for her to open the door, and I like thought it would be funny to radio my mom and be like, "Mom, there's like a man watching me." Like whatever. And then I had been inspired by the neighborhood watch posters. So I was like, "Oh, there's like a man watching me." And she was like, "Where are you? Where are you right now?" And I was like, "No, I'm kidding." And she's like, "That's it. Come home." And so that backfired because I wasn't allowed to play with Jenny Jensen that day.
Wow.
But I also learned like maybe don't pretend you're about to be kidnapped. All right, my question. What were you into before it was popular?
I feel like I started watching Severance like right when it came out. Like I watched it in real time. And I remember watching that first episode and I was like, Twitter's going to be blowing up about this. Like I was so excited to like see everyone's hot takes, and like no one was talking about it. And I was just like, I feel like it took a while for people to get into Severance. And I have multiple friends who got into it because of me. I was like, why aren't people watching this show?
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't really watched it. I watched like one of the episodes of season 2. Mine is A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's the big Sarah J. Maas series, but I read that in 2016, 2017. Like I had to wait for the books to come out, and I didn't want to gatekeep it, but like I definitely hate the popularity that it's blown up to now, because I'm sorry, it's not her best series. And it really pisses me off because everyone's like, Feyre, Nesta, Elena, Chiron. I'm like, what about Aelin Galasinius? What about Nehemiah? What about Kale? What about when we said his name as Cole? What about Dorian? Like, you guys don't get it. And I was late to my high school graduation because A Court of Wings and Ruin had just come out. And I was reading it, and there's this huge battle with like the big bad. And my mom's like, we need to leave. And I'm like, you need to give me a second. Like, I think the main character just died. Not a spoiler. It's been out for almost 10 years. You can thank me for all the spin-off series. I put you on. That's all we're going to ask each other. Come back to more episodes for more fun. And if you want to take the plunge, you can order your decks today at boardwalk.com. But until then, we love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay.